Have you ever noticed that as we grow older, we start to feel less energetic? Our body starts to gain fats, and no matter how little we eat, our weight just keeps on increasing. This phenomenon is not something uncommon. In fact, it happens to most of us, especially to people in the middle age group or people who are over 40. One of the main reasons for this phenomenon is that our metabolism slows down as we age. But how is metabolism related to aging? Metabolism refers to a set of chemical reactions that occur within the cells of our body, providing us the energy to support various processes keeping us alive. As we grow older, our body goes through many changes in both mentality and physicality. Some of those changes also affect the metabolism of our body. Those changes includes hormonal imbalance, muscle loss, mitochondrial decline, insulin resistance, TEF or the thermic effect of food, as well as some of our very common daily habits. Now let's dive deeper into each of those categories. Hormonal imbalance. The level of thyroid release can decline as we age, and because thyroid regulates metabolism, the decline of thyroids will lead to slower metabolism. Hypothyroidism, a condition that causes underactive thyroid, can also be the cause of slowed metabolism. This condition is very common among people over 50. Sex hormones also play a role in slowing down metabolism. For women, the amount of estrogen and progesterone will start to decrease around the age of 50, while for men, the amount of testosterone may also decrease at the age of 60. The decrease of these hormones will affect fat storage and cause decreased muscle mass, which further affects metabolism. Muscle loss. As I have said earlier, the decrease of muscle mass can further affect metabolism. Muscle tissue is very metabolically active, requiring calories even during rest. This is why BMR or basal metabolic rate, the amount of energy needed for homeostasis, is highly dependent on muscle mass. After the age of 30, 3% to 8% of muscle mass is lost every decade, and between the age of 50 and 80, individuals can lose 30% to 40% more muscle mass. This phenomenon is called sarcopenia, when skeletal and muscle mass decline due to aging. Losing muscle leads to decrease in BMR, meaning fewer calories are burnt when we're not active, which further leads to slower metabolism. Mitochondrial decline. Mitochondrial activity and quality decline as we grow older, leading to lesser energy or ATP production, which is one of the causes of slower metabolism. Insulin resistance. Insulin resistance refers to when muscle, fat, and liver cells don't respond to insulin, a hormone with the main role of blood sugar regulation, the way they should. This phenomenon becomes more common for people when they reach middle age. When the level of sugar in blood rises above the appropriate range, insulin will store the excessive sugar in muscle, fat, and liver cells. However, for people with insulin resistance, those cells do not store those sugars as they normally do. This can result in harmful conditions such as diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease, which can affect our body's overall metabolic health. TEF, or the thermic effects of food. TEF, or the thermic effect of food, is the increase in metabolic rates that occurs after the ingestion of a meal. TEF decreases slightly with age. In older adults, TEF, which accounts for 10% of daily energy expenditure, is reduced by about 1% compared to the young. All these very complicated processes and conditions aside, metabolism can also be affected by something as simple as not having enough physical activity, stress, or even sleep deprivation. About 28% of adults who age above 50 are physically inactive, which means their body burns fewer calories, slowing down the rate of metabolism. Additionally, stress can increase the amount of cortisol, a hormone that can slow down metabolism as well. Sleep deprivation is also heavily linked to slow metabolism due to its ability to cause hormone imbalance like increasing cortisol and ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and reducing mitochondrial function. To sum up, metabolism is a set of chemical reactions inside our body that keeps us alive. As we age, changes in our body that affects metabolism includes hormonal imbalance, when the level of thyroid and sex hormones such as estrogen and progesterone decreases, causing slower metabolism. Muscle loss. Muscle is very metabolically active, requiring calories even at rest. That's why a condition named sarcopenia, when muscle mass declines due to aging, leads to fewer calories burned and slower metabolism. Mitochondrial decline. Mitochondrial activity and quality decline as we age, causing lesser energy production and slower metabolism. Insulin resistance. When cells don't respond to insulin as they normally do, leading to several diseases that may affect our body's metabolic health. TEF, or the thermic effect of food, when TEF, which accounts for 10% of daily energy expenditure, is reduced by 1% compared to the young. And some of our common problems, such as not having enough physical activities, stress, and sleep deprivation. Even if the decrease of metabolism rate is inevitable as we grow older, it should also be noted that it is not entirely impossible to improve our metabolic health. We can do that by having a regular sleep and eating schedule, having balanced nutrition, managing stress, as well as incorporating more exercises or physical activities in our daily schedule.